Hello, superstars. So today we are going to be talking about the biggest red flag that causes burnout. This is single-handedly the number one reason why people burn out, even though a lot of people might not even think about it, might not even connect it to burnout in any sort of way, because burnout is usually something that we talk about in terms of work and stress and workload and all of these things. However, the reason why burnout happens is pretty much buried deep down inside of us. And that reason is that we are at that point in our life when we're burning out, we're not aligned with our soul, with what we truly, truly need and want and desire. So this is what I want to talk about today. I want to share a little bit of my own experience with this. And perhaps just tell you, like what is really happening out there, also through my practice working with people through burnout, why this is such an important topic to address, and why does it cause burnout? Like, what does it even mean to be misaligned with the soul? And lastly, the really important stuff, which is how do we prevent this? How do we make sure that we are aligned? How do we make sure that we're living from this place of empowerment and feeling like we are fired up about what we're doing in our lives at all times? So burnout is associated with external triggers as well as internal patterns that are, when these two meet together, they cause the person burnout. And this is not really just about the topic of burning out, but it's also really important to know, just for the sake of your energy, for the sake of how are you actually living your life on a daily basis, because this is directly related to happiness as well. So what does it mean to be aligned with your soul? Well, each of us deep inside have their own values, needs, desires, the things that are really important to who we are deep within. And often what happens is that as we go through life, we are put in situations where we compromise on these. We compromise on these needs, on the desires that we have, on the values that we have. Some people more, some people less. What might also happen is that we are not aware of our needs and desires and our values. And this is not because we wouldn't care, but it might very simply be because we never really learned how to. And this is where my story comes in, because I feel like what happened in my case, and I also really saw it, kind of mirror in many other people's stories, is that we are a result of this world of, it's almost like the manufacturing of the process that we go through. And so everyone puts some expectations onto us, their own projections, their own ideas about how we should be living our lives, or like what's the right thing to do. And so we somehow kind of like, navigate through it and swim through life, and then get to the point where we're like, actually, I'm not happy. And I already have this degree. I already have this job. I'm already, successful here. But it just doesn't, like, I don't know. I'm not motivated. I'm not driven. I'm not so energized like all these people around me are. What's wrong with me? And so that's what I'm talking about. This is really the situation where, you've been doing something your entire life and driving towards certain goal or result. And then when you get there, you don't feel fulfilled. You don't feel like this is really you, you don't really feel kind of connected. And so I really just want to talk about this a little bit and see how things can be done differently. Because when we are going through our lives, obviously, as we're young and we go through our upbringing, we don't really think about the choice. And so we kind of are just doing whatever is being taught and, what we think that is the right thing to do. But as we get to the point where we actually can stop and think for ourselves and be like, hey, is this what I really want? We get an opportunity to truly connect with what is important for us deep inside. And some of these things are, these are the opportunities where we might be surprised, because our body might start sending us signals that, we're not feeling good in this situation. Actually, we don't feel good in this friends group. We don't feel good in this job. And this is when we start, getting the signals from our own energy, from our own body, that we should change something. And that's when the friction starts. That's when really, we start truly feeling what is it to burn out, because we don't necessarily know how to act on these things, but we're feeling this energy surging and coming up to the surface, where we are agreeing, we are saying, yes, we are going to this job, we are, showing up in all these places that we think we should be, but deep inside we feel that we're somehow compromising. And this is like, when I talk about the internal personal patterns that are identical across the board for people who go through burnout, two of them are very specific to what I'm talking about right now, to this misalignment with the soul. They literally prevent us from being aligned with who we are. The first one is people pleasing. So if we have this tendency to people please, then we're going to be compromising ourselves. And the second one is lack of boundaries. Some people never learned how to set boundaries. I was one of them, and it's really difficult to say no to others, to even feel into that feeling like, hey, what do I want? Like we always would go and ask the others, what do they prefer, but not really thinking about ourselves. So you might think that people pleasing is a nice thing to do, that, you always want the others to feel good. But what's actually happening if you're people pleasing, if you want to please the others, if you want to make things convenient for the others, is that you're unconsciously manipulating other people to like you, because you want to satisfy them, you want them to be happy. But inside you're building resentment, because it's against what you truly want, what you truly desire. So people pleasing is not good for anyone. And it's, if these things are then piling up inside you, one day they're going to explode, or you'll get to the point when you just feel like, shit, I'm not living my own life and I'm just doing everything for everyone else. But you might feel angry about it, but really that anger is towards you, because you're compromising on your own well-being, you're compromising your own desires, your own needs, your own values. And the other one is lack of boundaries. And, these two are connected. So not setting boundaries on when, you're not feeling comfortable with something anymore, just so that other people wouldn't get upset, or so that you can avoid the conflict, that you can please others. It's the same kind of paradigm, that you're just trying to satisfy someone else because of certain fear. Therefore, you don't set a clear boundary that is there. It's important for you to feel safe, to feel protected, or to feel calm, and you're compromising yourself inside. And so there might be feelings of anger, disappointment, or sadness, when someone crosses your boundaries. And at the end of the day, you are very likely to explode when that happens. But it's quite difficult for someone to be communicating boundaries if they never learned that. So I just want to bring this into the awareness, because this is the kind of stuff that I knew nothing about when I was burning out. So 5-6 years ago, when I was going through this process, I had no idea how to connect with myself, how to align with my soul. I knew that I was feeling absolutely miserable. I was at the point when I was questioning my own life, and it was very clear that, yes, my soul is sending me some signals, but I did not know how to do it proactively. So everything that I was doing was leading me to that. It was like a funnel, I was kind of like getting to that place, but there is a different way. You can actually do this proactively. Before I share a couple of these practices, I also just want to say that you might think, that, oh my God, but like, I need money. I need to be in this job that I hate, or it's so hard to get out of this relationship because, there are also the good things about it. I know that we can always find some reasons. We can always find objections. We can always justify, but deep inside, you know deep inside, I'm going to show you how to check in with yourself. The answer is in there. You don't need to analyze. You don't need to be producing long lists of pros and cons. Deep inside, you already know. And the reason why this is really important, why that voice, why your soul is really important to follow, is because once you're aligned and once you're following that, there are no regrets. Have you ever regretted things in your life, like you were weighing out the decision and investing so much energy, spending a lot of time to actually make that decision, and then further down the line you kind of regretted it anyway, and you were like, oh my God, I should have taken the other option? Well, this is a different scenario, because I have never heard anyone who actually followed their intuition, who actually followed what they truly, deeply desired and needed, to say that they've regretted that decision. There is no such thing. When you really connect to yourself and really follow what you need, what's important to you, there is no way you can regret that, because that's you being 100% aligned with who you are. So it's really hard, because these things are sometimes completely outside of what everyone else is doing. It's very vulnerable to be following, your own truth, your own needs, your own desires. They might be truly different. They might break your relationship. They might cause you getting fired or losing your job or having to go look for a different job or, move to a different city. But it's absolutely vital that you do connect with that voice and you follow it, because if you don't, what's going to happen is that voice is there and your body knows. And every single day of you compromising on that voice, there's going to be a part of you that secretly hates you, because you're going to be resenting yourself for not meeting your own needs. So this is exactly what's been happening for me. And I got to the point when I realized that I'm not going to compromise in my life ever again, no matter how crazy or silly it looks what I'm doing. This is what I feel. It's like, jumping on this live. There are literally 1 or 2 people watching. I know that I'm super new to this. I'm not a pro. I'm still learning and mastering it, but it's something that I feel deep inside me that I want to be putting out there. It's a learning journey for me. It's a therapy for me. And I want to be bringing something to you guys. And I just felt that this is something I needed to do. And I made that commitment to show up every week. And so here I am. And it's something I'm not going to regret, because I'm doing it with all my passion, all my love. Every single week when I show up here, it's something that I wholeheartedly want to be doing. And you know that feeling too. I'm pretty sure that you do. There are things in your life where you're just thriving. You're totally in your element. You're in your energy. You're feeling so good. You're feeling so energized. And then there's situations, there's things, there's people that are not making you feel that way. And you feel like there is an inner fight inside you. So what I want to say is that it does not have to be that way. Whenever you hear this, I just want you to stop listening to that person or call bullshit on it, because we are being brainwashed since we're little kids that we have to sacrifice, that we have to compromise, that we can't have it all, that, we can't be successful and have an amazing romantic life and have an awesome lifestyle and a lot of money and beautiful family and all of these things. That's just programming from other people's limitations and other people's world. So whatever you want to achieve and whatever you feel deep inside that you're drawn to, that's what you should follow. So if you're going to be going to your job, it's a lot of people, we're talking about burnout, we're talking about work. So going to a job where you feel misaligned, that's something that I experienced in my last months at the company where I worked before I completely left London. We started engaging more with bigger companies and the corporate world. And it was something that I did not want to work with those companies, because the values of those companies were then penetrating our company, our agency, and they were trickling down onto us. And so instead of, our agency being about our own values and kind of creating from that space, we were asked to adapt to something that was pushed top down onto us. And I was in this like really deep conflict personally, because and it wasn't about this company specifically, but it was about the fact that for me, I studied politics and I thought I was going to go work in these big institutions. And it was just, me realizing that, hey, I'm not aligned with this. I'm not aligned with the corporate structures, with how big companies, most of them, I know that this is a massive stereotyping, but the companies I was working with, majority of them were following values and acting on values that I did not agree with. And I know that there is a lot of money in these companies, but I promised myself that I'm never going to compromise on this. And so this is really important, whether you're employed and, you're choosing your employer, or you have your own business, you're choosing people you're working with and your employees. Having clarity on what kind of people you want to attract, what's the environment you want to work in, what is the culture, those are the most important things, because that's going to define everything. Money is everywhere. This is not about money at all. It's not hard to go and earn money. It's about, how do you spend your time? Do you spend it meaningfully? Are you excited every day to get up from bed? Or do you feel like you're compromising somewhere? And are you just going about your life every single day believing that it's okay to compromise? So that's a challenge I wanted to bring out here today, and say that this is the number one reason why I see that people are heading towards burnout, because everything else outside of this is external. It's stuff that has nothing to do with us. If there is a crazy boss, if there is a lot of workload, once you master yourself internally, you know what company you want to work for, what's the values that you're following that are important, you're not going to compromise on that. It's going to be much easier for you to say no to stuff, to, stop people pleasing, because you're going to, once you're aligned, you're in your own integrity with what's important to you, you're not going to be taking any bullshit from anyone. It doesn't matter how much money is out there. It doesn't matter that the rest of the world is doing this. And this does take a lot of courage. So, and it also, is important to actually be able to connect with all of this, right? So what I wanted to share with you guys today, towards the end of this session, is actually showing you a very simple method. Like, this is not anything new. It's nothing that is not out there that you couldn't find anywhere else. But I really wanted to connect it with this topic and just tell you how important it is to create this space and to be able to connect on a regular basis with yourself. So the number one thing is actually create that space. Dedicate 5 to 10 minutes every day to just sit with yourself without touching your phone, without talking to anyone, without worrying about things that are out there that need to be done that very second. Just be still, get into a space where you can just be with yourself and know that this is your space to connect, that you're going to check in to see, hey, is anybody out in there, and see what's going on in there. See what your body can actually tell you in that moment. And a beautiful way how you can enhance this exercise is you can simply put your hand on your heart space. You can put another hand on your belly. That's where a lot of people feel, if there are feelings of contraction, stress, anxiety, a lot of people feel them either in the chest, in the shoulders, or in their belly. That's majority of the people. And you can literally ask your body questions. You can begin with, just breathing into it and checking in and feeling your heartbeat. It's literally just, feeling that there is something in there, that you have a heart, you're alive, you are here. That's the first point of connection. You can touch your belly gently and feel, how is your belly doing? Is there some tension? Are there any sensations of it being contracted, feeling pressure? Is there any pain going on? And once you feel that you're connecting with your body and you're kind of calming down, obviously breathing through this exercise, you can actually ask yourself questions. Go ahead and, some people have, when it comes to the belly, some people have their center of authority in different places. And for some people, it might be the womb space. So it's like lower belly area. There is an amazing source of power there. It's our sex chakra. So, just feeling into where is that feeling most prominent for you, and what is your body communicating? You can ask yourself a question. What do you need right now? My body just told me it wants to stop working for today and go watch the sunset and go for a walk. That's literally what I'm feeling. What do you need right now? How are you feeling? Your body is amazing. It communicates to you all the time. The question is, are you listening? Are you listening in moments when you actually get sick and your body literally puts you to bed? Or are you creating conscious moments where you can connect to your body and ask it questions and just check in? Just feel it. Give yourself touch. Give yourself, it literally, this is about coming back to your body. Even if you just go and touch yourself to truly feel that you're alive, you're in this body, you're healthy. It really takes you out of that routine of running around every day. If you spend 5 to 10 minutes like this every day and be with your body, just communicate with what's in there. Sit in your own energy field. Feel, what's this all about? How am I feeling? What's the energy that I'm feeling inside and I'm emanating out there? Breathing through it. And the magical thing here is that once you start listening to your body, it's a really simple act of actually allowing it to voice to you what's going on. And then perhaps you even saying these out loud to yourself, writing them down. These things will start shifting. Because this tension, these things that are trapped inside you, whether that's pain or anxiety or anger or whatever that is, it's not being answered. It's not being listened to. And these emotions are so powerful. They're so potent. They can literally tell you what they need from you right now. Your anger will tell you what it needs. It will tell you what it needs you to do so that it can release, it can move through, so it doesn't have to be stuck in your body. So this is a very simple practice, guys. You can, anyone can do this. You don't need anything for this apart from a conscious decision that you're going to dedicate this time to yourself. Build it into a daily practice. That's the absolute minimum you can give to yourself. And that is really the key to aligning with your soul, to start listening to that intelligence that is inside you instead of everything else that's out there. Because even the voice that's in your head, it's stuff that you have accumulated throughout your life. And those things, majority of them don't actually belong to you. Majority of them have been programmed into your mind and into your body. So doing a conscious and mindful connection is absolutely necessary for your own inner peace, for your happiness, to be able to actually make some new steps into new spaces, into the unknown, get some courage. Because when you practice this regularly, that voice will start strengthening. You will be more rooted in it. You will believe it more. It will become more important to you in your life. And I can tell you from my own experience and from seeing people grow and glow through all this, that there is nothing like this. Once you are truly aligned, truly connected to yourself, there is nothing else in this world that would feel that amazing. It's just being in your power, in your potential, in your essence, in your uniqueness. And that's exactly what we all need. You know, we need more people who have awakened to their own energy, who have remembered who they truly are, who are really connected with who they are. We don't need everyone to be following the same things. So if you guys have any questions about this practice or about this topic, reach out to me below in comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to get notifications about next videos. And I will see you in 1 week for our next live. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm sending you lots of love. Bye.